you've been going into kind of the psychology of betting. You went over kind of the basic terms earlier. Now you have the psychology. What do you got for us this week?
All right. Well, thanks for jumping in on Deets Teach here. Kyle, I love that we get to talk about this specific psychological pitfall, I like to call it, because it really fits in with what we were talking about missing expectations on a team or how that takes a little while for it to click in your brain. This is a classic pitfall that Vegas loves to use against you as a gambler, and it's called feeling like a winner even when you're losing. And as far as the Broncos goes, I know we think about them in 2015. They had that great Super Bowl run. We remember them winning the Super Bowl. We remember their defense being untouchable, right?
I surely do.
Surely do.
One of my fondest memories is drinking and watching that Super Bowl and winning tons of money against the Cam Newton and the Panthers.
So that huge win, huge spike in your brain for dopamine, right? The Broncos that year were actually 11-3 in one-score games. They had one of the best records all time in one-score games. They came back in the end several times. You, of course, had that Cleveland Browns game where in overtime they had given the ball away on like the 20-yard line. Their defense brought them back to the 50. That's why Broncos fans are still stuck in the past, thinking about a defense winning them a championship. That dopamine was so huge that we think that's a winning formation for the rest of our lives, even though it came down to so many lucky plays, just one type of moments that really gave them everything. Vegas knows that as a fan. If you think that you almost won a game, like a parlay, you have a 5-leg parlay, you hit on the first 4 and the last one loses and you didn't hedge, and maybe you lost the last one because there wasn't a pass interference penalty for the New Orleans Saints in the playoffs, you remember that as a win. You say, I should have won that game. I should be up $1,500 right now, and you're going to keep playing loose. That's the mistake that people make all the time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, have you experienced that before?
Oh, I have never won the first leg of my teaser. I usually bet on the Packers. I tease them down to 6.5 in a monsoon, and they like to give up punt returns for touchdowns. So I don't connect with the first part, but I understand the principle.
Just the principle.
I hope to get there one day.
So where casinos really discovered this was in the 1970s. They changed the algorithms in their slot machines to show on 35% of your losses, instead of having like two cherries and a diamond, they would do 2 cherries and a half cherry coming down. And what they found is people would see this, and in their brain, you still get a dopamine rush. You say, oh, I almost won. I'm so close to winning. And they've built on this over time, and they've built in little ways for you to win bets without winning your money and feel like a winner so you don't remember that you actually lost. Now on slot machines, you have like 9x9s or 12x12 combinations on the electric ones where you can win on 3 lines, but then you lost on 6, so you lose $10 on like a $20 bet. So you're not making any money on that. Same thing happens when you're looking down at the bottom of your mobile sports betting app. They figured out that humans, their brains can't distinguish. When they put down the potential win, instead of saying, hey, you bet $10, you're going to win $9, now they say, hey, you bet $10, you're going to get back $19. It's why they love to show the payout, because in your brain, you're saying, I'm going to be up 19. Even though maybe you know, like, well, I'm really only winning 9, your brain doesn't process that. And it says, I want to take the higher risk. I'm going to add a minus 400 to my 6-leg parlay, because instead of winning $200, I'm going to win 244. You want that number. It's one of the most simple things you can do as a gambler is to make a bet for how much you can win, and then also not remembering your losses, saying, I was so close to winning. You have to remember what your bets are. You have to track your bets. And there's really simple things you can do to kind of avoid these little pitfalls, shall we say. Some things I do, we talked about this, track your wins and losses. That way you're not remembering, man, I was so close to winning. Just know that you lost it. We're 16-15 on the year. We're not 16 wins and 5 really close wins that would keep us from being up $1,000, right? We're just 16-15. There's no getting around it. Other things I do, make your bet picks without looking at how much you can win on a mobile betting app. I love doing that. You write down the lines for every single game and you circle with the ones you want to win. Never put them in. Never go down and say, man, this is how much I get net if I tease these or if I parlay these guys. Very simple thing. Vegas uses it against you. Don't let them. Be smarter than they are. That's how you can do it. Thanks for joining me.